The famine that Joseph had foreseen struck the entire region, affecting not only Egypt, but also neighboring lands, including Canaan, where Jacob and his family resided. With food supplies dwindling, Jacob was forced to take action. He heard that there was grain available in Egypt and decided to send his 10 eldest sons to buy food. However, he kept Benjamin, his youngest son, and Joseph's only full brother at home. Jacob's fear of losing Benjamin was rooted in the traumatic loss of Joseph years earlier, a wound that had never healed. The brothers arrived in Egypt and sought to purchase grain, not realizing that the man overseeing the distribution was their long-lost brother, Joseph. Years had passed since they had sold him into slavery, and now Joseph stood before them as the powerful governor of Egypt. While Joseph recognized them immediately, they did not recognize him, now clothed in fine Egyptian attire and speaking their language through an interpreter. Joseph's heart was stirred with a mix of emotions, but he chose not to reveal his identity. Instead, he decided to test them to see if they had changed since their betrayal. Joseph accused them of being spies who had come to assess Egypt's vulnerabilities. Shocked and alarmed, the brothers protested their innocence, explaining that they were 12 brothers, sons of one man, and that the youngest, Benjamin, remained at home with their father. Joseph's demand that they bring Benjamin back to prove their truthfulness struck fear into their hearts. They were racked with guilt, believing that they were being punished for their mistreatment of Joseph so many years earlier. Reuben, the eldest, expressed his regret, reminding them that he had tried to prevent them from harming Joseph, but now they were facing the repercussions of their actions. Joseph, listening to their conversation in their native language, was deeply moved and had to turn away to hide his tears. Yet he maintained his composure and kept his identity concealed. He chose Simeon to stay behind as a hostage, a gesture that ensured the brothers' return with Benjamin. Before sending them on their way, Joseph gave orders for their money to be secretly returned to their sacks of grain, adding another layer of anxiety for them when they discovered it. When the brothers returned to Canaan and recounted the events to Jacob, he was overcome with grief and fear. The thought of losing Benjamin was unbearable, especially after the loss of Joseph. Jacob's reluctance was evident, but as the famine persisted and their food supplies dwindled once more, he eventually relented. Jacob allowed Benjamin to go, praying for divine mercy and hoping that his sons would return safely with Simeon and the necessary provisions. Applications: guilt and consequences. The brothers' fear and guilt over their past sin against Joseph demonstrate that unresolved guilt can resurface and impact present actions. This shows the importance of seeking forgiveness and reconciliation to free oneself from the burden of past wrongs. God's providence. Joseph's rise to power and the testing of his brothers highlight that God can use even the most difficult and painful circumstances for a greater purpose. Trusting in God's plan, even when it's not immediately clear, is essential. Testing character. Joseph's choice to test his brothers indicates that true change in a person's character often reveals itself in challenging situations. This teaches that personal growth is proven through actions, not just words. Family loyalty and sacrifice. Jacob's eventual willingness to send Benjamin shows that love and loyalty sometimes require making painful sacrifices for the greater good. It's a reminder that trust in God's provision can sustain us through difficult choices. Forgiveness and reconciliation. Joseph's hidden tears suggest that forgiveness is a process, sometimes requiring time and understanding before full reconciliation can occur. The journey to forgiveness can involve moments of vulnerability and careful discernment.